This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman.
This is George Newbern, the voice of Superman.
And you're listening to the DCAU Review, hosted by Cal and Liam.
Streaming at DCAUreview.com and on your favorite podcast app.
Hey everybody, welcome to another bonus episode, a very special bonus episode, in fact, of the DCAU Review. I am one of your hosts, Cal, and with me, my good friend, good brother, the man that runs our Twitter account. That's right, it's Liam. Liam, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's that time of year again, and with Christmas being this very week, you and I decided that, hey, we're not going to do a standard episode. We're giving ourselves the week off. We're allowing ourselves time to celebrate, but we decided we would release for the second straight year an annual what they call Watchalong, or maybe a track to listen to, one of our favorite Christmas DCAU episodes. So welcome to a special holiday edition of the DCAU Review.
That is right, Cal. Here we are talking about an episode today that's very near and dear to our hearts, and I'm sure anyone listening's hearts as well. That being the Justice League Season 2 episode, Comfort and Joy. We have done a standard review of this a couple of years ago now, which you can of course, hear in the archives at DCAUreview.com, as well as on your favorite podcast apps and the Pod Tower YouTube channel, regardless of where you get your podcasts. So we've done the full the ratings and the where it ranked. I believe I gave it a perfect score, in fact. So it's very highly regarded, not just by us, but I think by most people who have seen it, as just a wonderful, really classic sort of holiday special style episode of Justice League, as opposed to maybe some of the other episodes that are certainly holiday themed and have a special place, but maybe aren't necessarily designed to be like a true blue classic holiday special, Christmas special episode. Not quite like this one is. So we're excited to look into this episode and sort of watch it along with everybody. Hope everyone's having a nice holiday season, or as nice as one could have in the current climate. But yes, we will be talking today about Comfort and Joy, which was written by Paul Dini and directed by Butch Lukic, with music by Lolita Ritmanis and animation by Coco and Dong Yang.
And its original air date was December the 13th, 2003, which means we are just past the 18-year anniversary of that episode debuting. So very excited. Quick refresher, Liam, on how we're going to do this. So whether you call it a watch-along or a commentary track, we're going to allow you time to pull up either, maybe you have this on Blu-ray or DVD, or maybe you're watching on the fabulous HBO Max app. It's a wonderful app.
It sure is.
So not a paid endorsement, but definitely could be.
We're available.
We're in it for the money. That's right.
That's right.
So
a toast to unbridled capitalism, as Simon Stagg once said.
There we go. So we'll allow you to pull it up. Hopefully you already have it ready to go. We'll give a brief countdown. I'll have Liam give us a brief countdown, and then we'll hit play, and we'll just watch it along, and you'll hopefully hear our thoughts talking about various different items or maybe memories. But Liam, this is one that we had that you reminded me. I had no recollection, but we had this on videotape, taped off of Cartoon Network back in the day. But I remember really, really getting to enjoy it once we had Justice League on DVD. We had the complete second season on DVD, and I believe we got that for our Christmas one year, or somebody gifted it to us or something. So I remember being able to watch this a couple days after Christmas the year that we got it, and it's been in the rotation ever since. But as you mentioned, it's a heartwarming tale. It's fun. It sets itself apart from the rest of the whole Justice League series too, because it's, for Justice League specifically, it was really the only one-part episode. There's only one part to it, self-contained. But it's got a lot of everything that you love about holiday specials. Like, if you're a fan of cartoons, your Charlie Brown Christmases, your Grinches, stuff like that, it's got all of the elements that you're looking for, I feel like, in one of these stories.
Absolutely. You've got your pretty low stakes conflict to everything, but conflict nonetheless, and it's much more of an emotional story for our various Justice Leaguers in different ways, whether you're trying to find the perfect gift or learn the true spirit of the season, or maybe teach a lesson to someone who is not really in the Christmas spirit. It's got a lot of, as you said, a lot of classic elements of a holiday special that you might see on TV each year around this time. So we're excited to break into the DCAU version of that.
That is correct. All right, so at this time, you want to have everything pulled up. So if you don't already, go ahead and press pause and on the podcast here and go pull up your Blu-ray or DVD or the HBO Max app and get it ready to go. Don't press play just yet, though. Wait until Liam gives us the countdown in just a second here.
All right, so we will be pressing play on ours, and you can press play on yours in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, you should be seeing Bugs Bunny now, so that's how you know. That's how you know if you're in sync or not.
Get some CGI.
I was going to say, right off the bat.
Moving together here. Is this a takeoff of that storyline from the 90s, the Sun Eater? Wasn't there?
Yes, Endless Winter, I think, was the more recent one that also involved like an Arctic supervillain.
It reminds me of the story that I think Parallax.
Yeah, One Final Night, I think that was called.
Okay,
but yes,
there you go.
Yeah, there's like one big overarching issue, and then there's also like every single comic in DC had a like crossover issue where they were all dealing with the Earth being with the sun being snuffed out and the Earth being sent into a nuclear winter.
There you go.
Or a regular winter, I guess.
Those aliens are a little weird looking. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think this isn't like to my knowledge, this is not like a DC alien race. Like they didn't throw.
It's unique to the DCAU.
I think this is something created for this episode.
So of course, noticeably absent in this episode, of course, our Batman doesn't make an appearance.
Yeah, I think he gets a name check. I'm not sure where Wonder Woman is either.
Yeah. So we have, of course, GL and Hawkgirl, who we talked a lot about last week on our standard episode. If you haven't checked out our Spotlight Hawkgirl episode, check that out. She's got a nice little jacket that she's wearing.
Yes, I was going to say, she's the only one who has, like, Arctic gear. Well, Martian Manhunter's still standing there in his underpants.
Well, what do you know? The device worked, and
these weird little Cthulhu crab people are gonna have a Merry Christmas after all.
There you go.
Or whatever alien Christmas is. Life Day.
There we go. Alright.
So yeah, this is a lot of digital effects early on here, like in the background and the snow effect and stuff, so.
Hard to tell if the javelin was CGI there, or if it was...
or if it's just painted and they kind of moved the static image.
Here we go, GL going off and being broody.
So this is where we start to split off.
Very non-suspicious of Hawkgirl to want to just hang out with GL.
So here's our Charlie Brown.
There we go. Absolutely.
Doesn't get it. Doesn't understand why he should feel any different.
And
here's
of course,
here's Superman to be Linus.
Here's our hero, Superman, to bring in the true spirit of Christmas.
That's right.
We're not going to skip.
We're not skipping the intro. Don't you dare.
Not. Don't you dare.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. We're not your boss, but you'll be out of sync if you do.
For the sake of the episode, still great nostalgic feelings watching this intro.
The great Lolita Ritmanis, who, I mean, has credits going all the way back to, I think she composed a few episodes of the original Batman animated series, and then obviously worked on Superman and Beyond and Justice League going forward. But yeah, some of the music she composed specifically for these first two seasons of regular Justice League are just, including this title track, is just fantastic. And
the visuals to go along with it just are still striking to this day, even in crystal clear HD.
I think it's good that they did silhouettes. I think if they was like full color CGI things, it would probably show its age a little bit more. But the silhouettes, where it's very much a like a Zack Snyder title sequence or something.
Love it.
Like,
all right, remember this is early 2000s, so we got to get extreme here.
it's tubular, man.
That's right. So GL is snowboarding, which is a construct, you know.
That's right.
Can't complain that GL doesn't do constructs in this episode. So here's an interesting thing that you brought up recently on the Dwayne McDuffie Twitter. Of course, Dwayne McDuffie, the writer, one of the just legendary writers on this show and in comics, and co-creator of Static Shock, and a lot of the Milestone Media characters. From his Twitter recently, there was actually some tidbits that they shared with regards to John's love for the snow, specifically this scene.
Yeah, that Twitter page, which I believe is run by his late wife, or the late McDuffie's wife, mentioned that when Paul Dini, who actually wrote this episode, was sort of getting into the process, Dwayne McDuffie sort of explained to Paul that he always thought of John as having grown up very poor, and we see a little bit of that in his neighborhood in Blackest Night, that he clearly did not grow up in a mansion, and that so the snow is very special to him. It brings back these memories, as he talked about in that scene, and how this season means a lot to him, and maybe lets him let his guard down a little bit in a way we really haven't seen Jon Stewart be in this series to this point.
There you go. Now we have Flash. Flash looks a little off model in this scene.
Bit.
I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like it's like the side profile there is a little weird. The ears are a little long.
Head's looking a little stretched out, but quote me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe some of these kids actually featured in this year's epic Space Jam.
I believe you were right. Yes,
the character models were featured in the Space Jam, one of the Space Jam DC covers.
Flash and a few of the other DCAU heroes. Yes.
We have DJ Rubba Ducky.
Which I guess is a stand-in for like a Tickle Me Elmo or something. Like, I don't know if that exists anymore. Like the one toy that, parents get in fist fights over to get their kids for the holiday anymore. But
right. We have a Gorilla Grodd shout out here.
Is that foreshadowing because he fights another gorilla in this episode?
Oh, that's a good call.
So yeah, Batman's on monitor duty at the Watchtower.
There we go.
I don't know what like Robin and Alfred are doing, because they just stay at home in the cave. So this is fun because we didn't get a lot of George Newbern getting to be Clark Kent in this series, because it is much more action focused, and so we, maybe other than a few scenes here and there, so getting to see him really play that side of Superman, which is so important, especially in some of those earlier episodes of Superman the Animated Series, and getting to kind of revisit that side of him for this episode, I think is a lot of fun.
It is, and it's great that we have the returning voice actors, Mike Farrell returning as Pa Kent, and having both the Kents back, being able to make it feel like it's set here in the DCAU is certainly important. And yeah, and I feel like George Newbern as Clark, as you mentioned, we only really get one or two different options for him or opportunities for him to do that. As Clark rushes to go to the to turn on the tree light.
So the stuffed animals there. Of course, we have Streaky the cat returning here. Classic.
Not the super cat.
Not the super cat, just the regular cat. But you also, on the stuffed animals there, you had, I believe his name is Zook. He was like this weird sidekick of Martian Manhunter in his original comics.
There you go.
I think I saw Wile E. Coyote in there as well, so a nice WB animation shout out.
I think the boy band on the wall also was some of the producers from the
I believe you're right.
show,
yes, and
if I recall that. This is just a tremendous sequence here. The hands coming up with all the snowballs. This is just good, clean fun here.
Yes,
with superheroes having a snowball fight.
I was going to say, it's funny because there's very little like traditional action in this episode, if any, really. But there's still, like, you can still tell how much work the animators and the director Butch Luke put into this to make it fun and special. Like, it's still very active, and everything's kind of moving at a clip. Maybe because they only had one part to work with here, so they're kind of...
Yeah, it does move very quickly. Mm-hmm. Which is okay, because I feel like a long, drawn-out sequence of, more constructs, lots of hands. Love that. It is interesting also they went with it's a similar story between Hawkgirl and Martian Manhunter, or Jean, with not knowing, both being from alien worlds, not understanding the fascination with holidays, and them both having to learn why the spirit of the holiday matters, or why Christmas matters, and both of them experiencing it in a very different way. Mm-hmm. Mob mentality of breaking down doors to get... Oh, he lost his candy cane. And here we have the tension of the episode built up. He's promised the kids of the orphanage to get DJ Rubba Ducky, and
it's a real Scott's Tots situation. He's promising the kids something that he's not sure he can deliver on.
So now we have him going to Santa, or not.
I do like the idea of the Flash being smart. Like, he's kind of portrayed as a bit of a dummy in this series, but he's smart enough to be like, oh, right, I can be anywhere on Earth in 5 seconds, so
there you go.
I can go.
Had to go all the way to Japan to pick up the very last DJ Rubba Ducky. I love that snowy visual of Kansas there, Smallville, the Kents. One of the greatest lines probably written in the whole Justice League run. Superman still believing in Santa.
Well, it raises some questions, I think, which is that he knows there are already gifts under the tree. So I guess, is this one of those families that's like Santa gives gifts, but also the parents give gifts? Because I feel like you're really getting into the weeds. Like, far be it for me to tell anyone how to raise a child when it comes to Santa. But I feel like if you're doing Santa presents and parent presents, that's just, you're getting really in the weeds there.
This is a great bit too here.
Yes,
so
the literal Charlie Brown shirt.
It's a Charlie Brown sweater. It's too big for him, but because John can meld his size, he just grows into it.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. And here we have, I think we have this. Is this where we have the Swamp Thing?
Yep, there he goes.
Swamp Thing cameo, walking past Swamp Thing. His first appearance of 2 appearances thus far. The DCAU, if you count Batman and Harley Quinn as canon. Which, as far as we know, it is.
Yeah. Is that Groot there? Just walked by?
I think it was a stand-in for or an homage, perhaps, to Groot.
Because some of these are definitely alien models from, like, In Blackest Night or some of the other Justice League space episodes. But, yeah, there definitely are some new people thrown in here that may or may not. There might be a Gamora back there, too.
It looks like Killer Moth wearing Doctor Strange's cape, too.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But like that, the big guy who's about to start the bar fight in a minute here is like he's gray and he has like the red streaks along his chest. Like, that's Drax, right? Like, that's...
Oh yeah. Well, this is all. There's a lot in this bar that is sort of that 1950s.
Appears to be Vandal Savage dressed like Satan in the background too. See, this is the fun thing about doing these commentary tracks. I get to just like look at stuff in the background and stuff that maybe you don't have time to pick up on when you're taking notes.
Well, just when John was ready to make a move, wouldn't you know it, Hawkgirl decides to start a fight. Do the old professional wrestling gimmick where you hit somebody with a steel chair and throw it at your opponent.
It's the old Eddie Guerrero there.
You blame the other guy. I love this. Then they see a fight and they're just like, all right, everybody's fighting. It's time.
Yes. It's just I like the idea of a bar that's just constantly waiting for the first punch to be thrown so they can all join in.
All right, Flash is on his way back to Central City here. We finally have him making his return. Oh. No.
And
Here's
our Grinch for the piece.
Nuns and dynamite. Ultra humanite.
This guy, he would have like a YouTube show now, like
for sure. I love that he's so concerned that public funds are going to fund what he doesn't deem actual art. Like modern art is not art to him.
That's right.
He's a classic art guy, and the garbage taped together that he calls it.
Dramatic act break with
There
the gun,
with the gun
pointing the gun at the camera, which was a no-no back on the Fox Kids days.
Yeah. Does he not know that the Flash is the fastest man alive, or? Oh, Flash leaning up against a screw there? Is that like screw you? Oh no. So that was some good dramatic acting there by Michael Rosenbaum.
So, yeah, Michael Rosenbaum is Flash and Ian Buchanan returning as the Ultra Humanite here.
Is this Ultra Humanite's last appearance?
I believe so, yeah. I don't think he shows up in JLU at all, so. Yeah, Flash is, that's the childlike spirit of the holidays of Christmas. And this sort of jaded old Grinch, for lack of a better term, here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's the name of the episode.
I love the hero appealing to the villain's heart in this.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing. Like, Ultra Humanite in Justice League, he's ultimately in Justice for All. The only reason why he was doing what he was doing was he was interested in the money. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, he was perfectly content with being in his jail cell, at least initially. Yeah. Like, he was okay with it, and once he got his public television, he was perfectly okay with being back there again. So it doesn't come from a heart of evil. So he does have good still in him.
That's right. Yeah. And I like that Flash, again, not necessarily portrayed as the smartest Justice League, are making like both an emotional
It is
Christmas. But making both like an emotional and like kind of an intellectual plea to him, where he's like, if you believe in human advancement, then help me help these kids, and maybe they'll pass on that advancement to people they meet when they grow up.
This is just so good. This whole part is so good. Martian Manhunter witnessing kind of just everybody experiencing Christmas, what everybody in the Kent family here's experience of Christmas is, starting to kind of understand it, but then really doesn't fully grasp it till he begins walking around Smallville and witnessing the various aspects of it. We go him transforming into his Jean Jones persona. The music here adds another layer to it also. Not a lot of dialogue.
This is also a wonderful comic homage to a long-standing joke for the Martian Manhunter, being that he has a addiction to Oreo cookies.
There you go. Jean getting to play the role of Santa in order to keep this child's spirit alive also.
It's pretty great.
Like another aspect of grasping it. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah. And
now without commentary, there's just the other aspect that a lot of people hold dear
Absolutely.
With this season, certainly with the aspect of of Christianity and religion. So, him also getting to experience that, which is again a huge part of that for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Is nice that they include that also, because it's something that could have easily been ignored, and probably we know that on Fox Kids the mandate was there was a lot of mandates you couldn't have religion involved at all. So just a nod to that being part of it, and Jean sort of taking that in, hearing that classic Christmas song, and sort of also getting that aspect also.
Absolutely, it's all part of it, and I think that's him singing where he's the child's belief in Santa, the people just wishing goodwill and sharing in a sense of community, and then for those of the world that celebrate it as the birth of Jesus, like that is a very integral part of this holiday, and the fact that he got to experience a little bit of all of it, I think is a really great way to sort of get him where he needs to be for the final few scenes here.
Absolutely. Good dramatic scene wipe there too. Mm-hmm. This is the odd couple bit between the two of them also is great. Freaky the Snowman.
Oh man.
The comedy in this episode is pure Paul Dini.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Dini to the max.
So he's telling the story of the Nutcracker Ballet, but he's still doing like the weird DJ Rubber Ducky gang signs while he talks, which is incredible.
No more poopy noises.
That's
But it's awesome that he was able to he was able to capture their imaginations through the telling of another Christmas classic story.
Absolutely.
Great chemistry between these two voice actors also.
And I know a lot of Michael Rosenbaum's recording sessions were separate from a lot of the other actors too, because of his Smallville shooting schedule at the time. So I'm not sure if he was able to be in the same room with Mr. Buchanan, or if that just speaks to just how talented that these two are, that they were able to play well off of recordings of each other. But yeah, again, it's the Grinch's heart rose 3 sizes that day.
There you go.
And it's just really a good job of encapsulating the Flash's character as like truly this just genuine good person.
And here we go. Hawk Lantern stands rejoice.
That's where it all was leading.
Technically their first kiss shared here.
I think so. I think this did air before Wild Cards, even though I think it might have been produced after.
Interesting. Now we have Clark being the kid. Look, smile. First thing he does is smile. He's excited to run down and see just what Santa might have brought.
Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown.
There you go.
And he even made peace with Streaky. What a nice little cherry on top to this.
So
and I like that he's in his true form too.
Yeah,
like he's just really bearing his soul in this moment to try to share in the joy that he experienced the night before.
And an awesome parting final shot there of the snowy Kent farm in Smallville. And
perfect. There
we have it. So that is our episode here. So what a great Christmas classic here, and hopefully just an enjoyment to watch it and talk about what we were seeing. We hope that everybody else that also may have watched along with us enjoyed this as well. Feel free, send us your thoughts on this episode in particular, or any of the other DCAU holiday episodes that you may find nostalgic. Send it to @DCAU Review on Twitter, or you can, if you listen to us on Spotify, you can respond to us using the option to answer our question of the week. You can also actually send us a voice message. That's also included at the bottom of our podcast links. That's something that Anchor features our host. So, Liam, just a great time and super excited. We mentioned this last week, but we're headed into 2022 with our next episode. Very excited for hopefully a new and better year than the last one. The last couple, in fact. But yes, thank you everybody that has tuned in during this time. And if you've listened to one episode this year, or if you've listened to all of our episodes or somewhere in between, we're very thankful. Thankful for all the interactions we've been able to have too, Liam.
Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely seen growth as far as people listening to our show, people commenting and subscribing and interacting with us, and that's really what it's all about. Like, we love doing this show, and we've always said that we would do it if nobody listened, just because we enjoy talking with each other. This is something that we shared in our childhood and get to continue to share in our adulthood, that we love to do. But the fact that so many people are willing to also share their memories, whether it's of watching it when they were kids or coming back to it now and giving your thoughts now, we always appreciate you reaching out to us and interacting with us, telling us what you think we should review next. I definitely want to do like more polls and have everybody help pick stuff that maybe we'll review in 2022. But yeah, it's been for this show, it's been a very good year, and I when real life is maybe getting you down, I hope we were able to help you in the same way that I think you guys have helped us. Maybe not think about the world for a couple of minutes at least, and enjoy ourselves, and hopefully as the holiday season is upon us, I know that can be a great time of joy for a lot of people, and it can also be a really hard time for other people. So wherever you are, however you're feeling, I hope you have a great week, a great holiday season as we get towards Christmas and New Year's here, and hopefully you will be joining us in 2022 when we return with our regular episodes.
That's right. Lots of big things excited for in the year 2022. We'll be hitting our 200th episode in just a few weeks here, Liam. Very excited about that, and lots of other great stuff. Who knows what awaits us as far as DCAU content in 2022. We've got tons of DC movies coming out. We've got a full slate of cartoon movies. Lots of rumors swirling around about multiversal cartoon movies, and lots of stuff that we'll be excited to cover, hopefully. And we never know what's lurking around the corner with tie-in comics and lots of other things that we'll have time to talk about. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you tune in and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast app if you have not done so already. If you would love to give us a Christmas gift this year, or perhaps just as a thank you, if your podcast app allows you to leave a review with a little blurb, we would appreciate that very much. So you can also support the podcast by subscribing to us on the Pod Tower channel on YouTube. If you head over to YouTube, search Pod Tower, or you can check out the link in our bio on Instagram. Follow us on social media. You can also check us out at DCAUreview.com, where we have a link to our store. If you ever want to buy a shirt or a mug or a sticker, those are all available there. Maybe a hat. We've got lots of stuff there too if you want to support the pod that way. Liam, it's been a great year. Super excited to come back next year and do more reviews. But until then, I'm Cal.
And I'm Liam.
And we'll talk to you on the next episode of the DCAU Review.
Happy holidays.